Hello and welcome to this next video of our video series. In this video, we are going to deploy CyPerf Community Edition into a container, and we want to send a lot of high transaction, high connection traffic between two agents that are distributed and look at the results. Let's get to it. If you are following the series, you might already notice that we are developing network testing strategy for this Acme corporation that has its HQs and ranches, it has its colos with software-defined data centers, it has users in cloud, and obviously everybody needs access to internet. In the first video, we deployed CyPerf agents in two different systems and generated a lot of high throughput traffic. In this video, we are going to deploy CyPerf in a container and we are going to send a lot of small packet traffic. So this would increase the connections per second, transactions per second, and is going to stress the compute and the packet per second capacity of network. So let's show you how this is done with CyPerf Community Edition. So I have my two systems. The left-hand side is my infrastructure where I've installed a Docker container. So if I do Docker PS, it would show me the container ID. I would log into it. Basically, it's bash shell. So here I go into the bash shell and I'll quickly verify whether CyPerf is installed. What I will do is I will do a CyPerf-H. If it returns some values, all the helpful commands, I know it's installed in my container. I'll go to the server. This was the same server that I used for my throughput testing. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do CyPerf-S, and that's it, S for server. And I'm going to start it as a server, so it would wait for all the connections to come to it. So as you can see, it binds to a particular IP address of the interface, and we know that IP address. You can obviously change it. So now I'm going back to my controller, and I'm going to zoom in and show you. I will do CyPerf-C, paste that exact IP address, and instead of just pushing this command, I'm going to do --CPS. CPS stands for connections per second, and I'm going to put a value of 1000, which means I'm targeting 1000 connections per second. The test starts, and as you zoom in, you can see I'm getting that 1000 connections per second, and on the other side, which is the server side, the same number is also reflected, which means whatever connections and these transactions the client is sending, it's receiving. I can see some of the other details, right? And I can now just stop the test and I will start a new test now. So once the test stops, it gives you the overall values, how many seconds it ran, what was the average latencies. I will now have a new command. I will have the connections per second set to 10,000, and I will use the -L to set the length of the transactions to be 1 byte. So as the test runs now with a smaller byte, I am seeing I can achieve this 10,000 per second connection. I can also go and refresh my server statistics, and as I expected, I have now 10,000 connections. So this really stresses the system with small 1 byte packets and lets you know how much connections you can get, especially in a SD-WAN environment where the client and servers are in different distributed locations. Just like I ran this test with -L that signified the length of a transaction that I'm going to use for connections per second, you can always use CyPerf-H to look at other options, like you can add a file in the connections per second test, or change the interval for the statistics collection, or set a certain amount of time. Please feel free to explore these different options for connections per second test with CyPerf Community Edition. If you want to explore further features, you can always switch to CyPerf's full edition that allows you to add more applications, attacks, statistics, scalability, and stuff like that. A free evaluation of CyPerf is also available for anybody that is using CyPerf Community Edition, and the link to that eval is provided in this description. Thanks a lot for listening.